all over the place. So let's have a look what we got. So we got apologies from Anita, Connor, Giselle, and Jonathan. Any other apologies from anyone? Do we know? No? Okay.
Kirsty isn't in. She's a last minute apologies, but I'll pop it onto the notes now.
Oh, it's all right. Helen's doing it. I see she's typing away there. Thank you. Actions from last meeting. So first one is all staff encouraged to have a look at other quarter thematic submissions to learn from each other. We work in the open with thematic reports, and several of you already work across multiple thematic groups. So please be inspired by each other. I don't know if has that happened. Does anyone know? Hopefully everybody's doing that. Number two, if anyone is particularly interested in supporting our social media accounts, to contact Caddy. I think there's been an update since then. Anushka now in place as head of P&C, so his point of contact for content on our channels. New colleague pending. Action 3, a discussion and ask around the open access webinars for April to August this year. Can all staff have a think about what we'd like to offer for the end of the programme?
That's all done. Nick has been working on it, so we should have a list in the next sort of week or so. Nick, where are you? If you're here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we're all sorted on that.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one is, can all thematic groups please go through their resources pages and make sure the resources are still active, relevant and appropriate? I'm guessing that's been done. I know Mike did the older people one. I don't know about any of the others.
No, we did get a flag around the, I think it was the VR resource. Some of the formatting was off on that one, so Nick very kindly went back. But yeah, if there is anything else, please just make sure you are raising it. Don't spot it and not say something. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So moving on to manager updates. Caddy, do you want to
start? Fab. Cool. So I'm gonna a couple of things from myself. First thing, and we'll get to at the end, but is the elephant in the room, which is it's Laura's last management meeting. I don't think Dewi and I are emotionally ready for this, but bear with us. So yeah, please, Laura is in a little bit this week. If you are south based and baby doesn't come overnight, there is a co-op lunch tomorrow at Spark, if you're around and just want to come and say hello and goodbye in person. Otherwise, yeah, this week is your chance to message Laura. Hopefully we'll all be seeing each other. It's a very odd one, as we've mentioned before, in terms of yeah, programme technically ending whilst Laura is off, but hopefully we'll all continue to see each other. But yes, just a little encouragement. Go make Laura cry in the nicest sense possible. It doesn't take much at the moment, but yeah. Yeah, Laura's last team meeting. So much more boring stuff. DCIT action plan, you'll have seen in the Teams channel. I shared it, but just kind of reiterating with everyone. So DCIT is the Department for Science, Information and Technology, and they've launched a digital inclusion action plan. As you'll all know, the previous UK Gov digital inclusion strategy was sitting under about 6 feet of dust and referred to the World Wide Web. So we're just very yeah, pleased to see something a little bit more current emerging from that. The link will be in the team meeting notes as well, but it is in the Teams channel. But yes, the action plan has been launched. Please give it some time to have a look at it. It gives an insight into the trajectory for UK Gov around digital inclusion. And as we know, devolved nations do look at what is happening with UK Gov, even if they don't always follow it. They've set out at this particular stage some key principles and actions. The press release that's linked in the Teams channel as well, kind of summarizes some of the key areas of note for, for editors, because it's a press release. Some of the stuff there is, I think it's Vodafone, Deloitte, and Good Things Foundation are putting together a charter of kind of like good principles for device gifting and donations, which is really good to see, because we have seen some slightly sort of rogue approaches in the past, including from sort of coordinating bodies like DPA. So it'll be interesting to see that come to fruition. We're currently working with Dan to respond to their call for evidence. So even though the action plan has been published, they want thoughts on the action plan and what steps should be taken next. So they've got an idea of where they want to go, but they're not exactly 100% sure on how to get there. So they've gone out to everybody to ask. And equally, and some of you will be aware of this, equally, we're considering application to join the Digital Inclusion Action Committee. So we'll be putting Giselle forward for that. It will be representatives from organisations. And as I was talking to my team the other week, we'd be daft not to, basically considering the amount of work that Compass has done in this space, in this area. So yeah, please have a look at the action plan at the first steps. And if you've got any thoughts, please send them. Yes, we're working with Dan. Yes, we'll come up with a submission, but we value all of your thoughts and opinions as well. So if you've got any, please do feed them through to myself or Dewi, sort of ASAP really. We put this out, I think it was last week, but the close for the call to evidence is, I believe, end of the, I want to say it's the end of the month. I'm getting the 2 dates mixed up. There's something that either the committee's in at the start of April and the action plan is end of March, or it's the other way around. But either way.
April 9th for the call for evidence.
Amazing. So the committee is the 26th. There we go. So end of the month, basically, if you can get stuff through to us. Dewi and I are meeting with Dan next week, just to kind of move some of the submission forward. But yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. But yeah, if you've got thoughts, please do send them through. Then other thing is touch point days. So a little reminder of Joe Taylor's email that went out. Sort of short version of that is we're going to be having touch point days, and this is following staff feedback to HR and the staff surveys that they want more opportunities to collaborate and build relationships. It's going to be a pilot. There's going to be one in-person working day per month. They took feedback from managers about not having it on the same day, because we have that issue where it's on the same day for the Wednesday's lunch sort of meeting, and that means that some staff never get to attend. So they recognise that majority of staff who work part-time or compressed hours either don't work a Monday or a Friday. So they're now rotating it between the first Tuesday or Wednesday. Dates are already in everybody's diaries. Chloe, for her sins, is finding locations and is doing her best to find locations that allow for kind of private calls and meetings, as well as collaborative space. Obviously, as you can imagine, Cardiff proving to be difficult just because of the sheer number of staff that are down there, but there's she's liaising with certain colleagues to help identify venues. The purpose is to supplement, not replace, existing in-person meetings. So I, for example, have already said to my guys that we'll miss the regional office day in May, as it's our South DCW in-person co-working day. So it may be that actually you only end up attending a few of these in the next sort of couple of months, based on just when they fall, annual leave, stuff like that. But yeah, it's meant to kind of supplement, not replace. We'd raised, when we were in the management meeting, we raised a couple of things in terms of, it's not going to be feasible for all staff, either based on sort of health, geography, pre-existing meetings, etc. Hence why it's now supplement, not replace. And obviously it depends on what kind of setup they kind of create for the day. So if there aren't, for example, if they don't manage to find a place that has some separate rooms, then it's not going to be feasible for staff to do training from that kind of location in terms of delivery. So yeah, Laura's just put it, training delivery is priority. Obviously, if it's something where there is a room you're like, I'm happy to do it from that room and then go and join everyone else in the main thing, that's absolutely fine. But I'm also very conscious from a training perspective, that many of you might have your training set up in a certain way at home in terms of, your kind of devices and how you do things and the need to have multiple screens, etc. So yeah, the priority is training and delivery and pre-existing in-person meetings. And so we did raise that people may not equally be able to access these in-person opportunities, and that was kind of acknowledged, but they're trying to do the best they can following the feedback that they've had, requesting more kind of touch point. Obviously, is some people already kind of come together for, I know North Wales do their lunches, stuff like that. You still have your your kind of touch point moments, and they are trying to find suitable locations. So it's the Valleys area, Cardiff, Carmarthen, Swansea, and then I'm not quite sure where the conversations got to in North, because it may be that actually based on spread there's only kind of one, but they are looking at West and East. So yeah, it's all in the email. My guys, I gave you a kind of summarized version, but the key point of updating you in this one is that if you want to submit a question to SLT, if you look at Joe Taylor's email, there is a form that's linked there. The deadline for submitting questions is the 21st of March. Then it will be discussed on the 26th of March, staff. And for those that can't attend, I'll make sure we do a roundup and summary. But if you've got questions for SLT, please do pop them there. If you feel you're unable to attend any of these, either because of responsibilities at home, health concerns, whatever it might be, you can come either to your line manager or to Nick Laybourne. This is not meant as a pressure point, and obviously, as you'd probably expect, there's stuff in Joe's email around travel. So they want us to kind of count travel within working time. So as opposed to traveling maybe beforehand and then you'd accrue toil for it, they want you to travel within working time. So might be that you have a shorter sort of admin related day. But yes, that is the long and the short of the touchpoint days. If you haven't read the email, please do, but hopefully that's just given a little bit of a rattle through, and the 21st is the deadline for feedback. Another kind of, just sort of end of financial year updates. If you haven't read Deb's email about end of year finances for expenses, please do. But the long and short of it is all expenses need to be submitted by the week commencing the 24th of March. Basically, submit them this Friday, please, guys, ideally. If you have known travel between the 21st and the 29th, so for example, you are going to deliver in-person training, or I'm thinking there's a bit of work happening with TGP Cymru up in North Wales for the Roma community support. If there are known things that are happening, please submit your mileage via expensing on the 21st. So you input the 21st as the date, but make reference in the notes that it's for travel on, I don't know, the 25th or whatever it might be. So this is where it's kind of known travel that is happening. It's just so we can do everything we can to get as much in for this financial year that's actually happening in this financial year. And then next update is, if you haven't read Tracy's email from the 7th of March, please make sure your phones are up to date. So latest software, need to ensure it's installed. Basically, settings, general, software update. Make sure it's the number that is in the iOS number that is in Tracy's email. So please make sure you're doing that. And then the last little plug from myself before I hand over to Dewi is just around KPI 3 claims. So advisors, you'll have had an email from Ryan on the 26th of February, where basically the ask was that over the next few weeks in your thematic groups, you're identifying non-local authority or health board clients who are integrating DI. You know, and embedding it in their ops and strategies, you know, recognizing the work you've kind of done with them, but also recognizing that we're really kind of rounding up a lot of work in the next couple of months, so they're kind of best positioned to keep going without us. So having a think, you know, right, who is it that we can be claiming based on the work we've done so far and the work that, you know, we're intending to round up with them in the next couple of months whilst the programme is here. Please make sure you're updating your DCPs, and any kind of doubts, liaise with Ryan. You know, Ryan's here to have a conversation, as am I, if you're unsure. Don't worry about local authorities, health boards, or those, because they're kind of done separately. But yeah, thinking in your thematic groups, right, who are we kind of really supporting at the moment? What work should be rounded up by, you know, the end of this quarter, next quarter, final quarter, etc. Keep updating your DCPs. You know, that could be either that you've had an impact survey, or it could be that you know the impact. You just know it already because you've had this conversation with clients, in which case you can insert the impact directly into that section on the DCP. But I can't stress enough how important this particular KPI is for us when it comes to working with the digital inclusion unit. This is the one that they've got their eyes on at the moment. So please ensure that you are updating your DCPs, working in your thematic groups, and identifying which clients you feel have really kind of embedded and integrated DI into their delivery and or strategy. Amazing. Those are all the drums that I've banged. So Dewi, I will hand over to you.
Thanks, Cardi.
Yeah, just a couple of updates from me. So one is on the developments of new projects. So we have got a bid in with Heritage Lottery Fund to do with the reminiscence bike, tying together various elements of the work that was done around that, but specifically looking at kind of the capture of oral history and kind of building on some of the work that we did with People's Collection. So we completed an outline proposal. We've been invited to submit a full bid. The intention is to get that completed kind of early midsummer, and hopefully look for a positive response. The feedback on the outline proposal from Heritage Lottery Fund was, yeah, pretty positive, really. I think it's quite an innovative way to, yeah, kind of capture those stories, those local stories, and that kind of local history. So watch this space with that one. There are various other kind of bids which are being looked at. So yeah, we're kind of considering what to do with Digital Heroes, and I know a few of you met and kind of pulled together some other ideas around that. So that is something that we could definitely look to submit an initial proposal about. There is well, there are a few considerations around that, just in terms of timings and understanding what Welsh Government are going to ask for in any future contract, assuming that that's the route that they go down, because we are operating in the dark a little bit at the moment. I know I shared something, well, Laura shared something with Rue the other day in terms of art and tying in kind of, you know, those elements of the work that we've done, but very much kind of linking the art and well-being elements. So kind of looking for funding opportunities in lots of different areas and with funders that we haven't worked with or received funding from before. So I think there's a good few opportunities there, and it's nice to see that, yeah, things are happening. It's never a quick process going through funding like this, just because of the timescales involved. But hopefully we get a few positive responses. Caddy, did you have a question?
I was just going to chip in and just say it's, thanks for that update, Derry, because, that's, yeah, it's the seeing something happen from having Mike here. This is the reason that we've got Mike in the team now. It's the reason that we've kind of pivoted to have that person that can help. So if you've got ideas, obviously lots of you have been working on them, hence the Reminiscence one having gone to Mike, and now kind of obviously having that heritage lottery fund kind of look on it, and hopefully we'll have some real traction in the summer. If you've got ideas that you were working on when we kind of kickstarted all the conversations pre-December, you don't need to have I think probably Derry would first say you don't need to have a completely fully formed, perfect, kind of idea. Please don't kind of hold back. These things do take time, so we want to be able to make as much progress as possible in the time that we are definitely here. So yeah, I know there's a couple of ideas still floating around elsewhere from that document. So yeah, don't hold off just because you haven't got the most fully formed. I know quite a few of you have actually got pretty concrete ideas down, but if we don't get them in front of Mike, they won't kind of shift forward. So just a little ask, if you have got something in your back pocket at the minute that you're passionate about, that you think we should be doing as Compass. So this is not DCW, this is as Compass. Please speak to Derry or myself and let's get it in front of Mike, because I think we can really diversify what we're doing and do some really cool stuff regardless of what may or may not come out from WashGov. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, and just to say, I know that Dan and Simon did a lot of work in terms of kind of developing that bid and kind of speaking directly with Mike as well. So yeah, if there's something you're passionate about and something you specifically want to kind of work on, then there is an opportunity to do that. I know with the Heroes group, we did say just hold off a second, but I think we're probably at a point now where yeah, we just kind of progress with it. We can get an outline proposal in. I did have a chat with Mike last week in a meeting around that. So I'll catch up with the group who were discussing the Heroes stuff. But yeah, as Caddy said, get in touch with us if you have any ideas that you would like to progress, or even if you just want to discuss one initially before kind of putting pen to paper. Other update is around the Digital Health and Care Wales work that we're currently doing. Thank you for everybody who added details of organisations who would potentially like to host volunteers as part of one of the work packages we're doing for Digital Health and Care Wales. Again, just an ask, if there are more organisations that you can think of and you can add any to that spreadsheet, we can still send out the survey. We've currently got the survey open until next Monday. We would ideally like to get as many responses as possible so that we can produce something for Digital Health and Care Wales, but ultimately so that we can produce a report. It's to kind of help their understanding of, and I think they probably need this help, to be completely honest, understanding the practicalities of having their volunteers go to host organisations and the best way of doing that. The intention is in April for us to pilot some of these approaches. So there is going to be an ask of you guys generally in April across a few of these work packages. So work package 1, we're looking at the volunteering stuff, which we've discussed, and it's ultimately about their new policy. They don't call it a volunteering policy. They've called it a community projects policy internally, which I think adds a layer of confusion potentially, but ultimately it's about those staff who have received Digital Champions training volunteering with host organisations to provide support on using the NHS Wales app. So we're going to be having to do some work in April around matching individuals and organisations and trying to ensure that those individuals and the organisation all have a good experience, and that can kind of feed into a wider approach than the DHCW take to providing volunteering opportunities for staff. There are another 2 work packages which we're looking at as well, which we are going to be calling on you for help. So in April, again, so we're doing a bit of work around increasing uptake of the NHS Wales app and electronic prescription service, trying to understand what the awareness is amongst, well, patient participation groups, trying to understand what the barriers are from staff. And we've just produced a paper-based survey for patients in practice to complete as well. So trying to get a broader understanding of what the barriers and the reasons for low uptake are, and what types of interventions would support those individuals. In April, we will be delivering some of those interventions. So it'd be that kind of in-practice support for people to whatever, register for the app, download it, just ultimately to try and increase uptake. So we are currently surveying, and we will produce a little report and a suggested kind of number of pilot approaches that we will pilot in April. So again, there will be some days in April that we will need to call on you to go and do some of those things in practice. And then similarly, Work Package 4 is looking internally at Digital Health and Care Wales's wider approach to digital inclusion. You'll have seen, and it was kind of pushed around the advert for the Digital Inclusion Manager job at Digital Health and Care Wales. So ultimately, this work is to ensure that that individual has a good understanding of what's happening across the organisation, and has a bit of a plan and a monitoring and evaluation framework that can be used to measure their success on their digital inclusion journey. So yeah, there's a load of work which we're trying to squeeze in before the end of the financial year, but it's not practical to actually deliver these bits before April. So just so you're aware, there will be an ask coming to you in April to deliver some of these bits and pieces, but we just need to understand the scope and scale of some of them initially, and then we will crack on and try and get it done. I think those are my updates. Thank you.
Right, moving on now to the group update. So Bassett, I think you're up first, just because you were top of the list. So
is that just ethnic minority communities / DCW Travellers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I do the update for us.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry,
You've got 10 minutes, Nick, and you're on a timer, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Nick. Sorry, I have it in front of me as well.
That's all right, Bassett. I don't mind going through it. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So 10 minutes. Let's go. So just like summarising some of the things that we've been doing over the last month. Quite a bit coming in. I guess like from a perspective of some of the work that Bassett's been doing. He's delivered some training sessions for the mentoring from Cardiff and staff from East and Swansea. So it's nice to see some continued engagement there. As well as that, there's a Digital Champions training delivered to a small group of volunteers for Kieran Cymru, who are based in Cardiff. They support diverse communities. So again, this work Bassett's been putting together there. There was some work with the Renew Mind Centre in Swansea that Jared has finalised a blog for. That was probably at the end of last month, but since the last meeting. So yeah, there'll be a blog going online, if not soon or already. But yeah, a blog for Renew Mind Centre that Jared has put together with Bassett, and that's going up on the website soon. So that'd be nice to see. In terms of some wider work with DCW Traveller. So Lindsay's been engaging with some organisations in North Wales with refugee and asylum seeker play schemes, basically looking for like support and partnership working opportunities. They support a lot of families across Flintshire as well, the connected sort of organisations that work with them. So currently it's kind of in that sort of exploration phase, probably, waiting on people to reply and those types of things as well. But conversations have happened, which is great. So it's nice to see some engagement from organisations there. I know following up from what Caddy mentioned earlier, Connor's going up next week to help support Lindsay and Emma with a bit of work for TGP Cymru in terms of supporting traveller sites. So that's kind of like what's coming forward. But looking forward to that. Myself, Connor and Anita, we did a little bit of filming. We decided we're going to go social media savvy, and we made some little reels for, or we filmed some little reels demonstrating how you can use devices for supporting language and literacy. So that's basically like using like seeing AI when it comes into something like literacy, from the perspective of you can't read, but you can understand language, and then language skills in terms of using apps like Google Translate, for example. So Jared's kindly putting together those, so we'll see how they come out. Like, I've got all confidence that Jared's going to make our little videos that we made look amazing. Because it's always a bit like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, it was great doing that. Nice experience as well, having Anita come down and just working together to put those together. And yeah, managed to engage with Cardiff Library for that. They let us in Central Library film there. And really nice bit of engagement there as well. They've been asking for some support with e-visa work. So from that, Bassett's reached out to the Wales Refugee Council, who are the official sort of supporters for e-visas for anyone in Wales who needs help with that application, but also just so we can kind of get in contact with them again and work out where we can deliver some level of support. And that's kind of what we're doing now at the minute. We're consolidating a lot of resources. We're going to be putting together a sort of guide now over the next few weeks to support organisations like Cardiff Hubs or TGP Cymru around digital inclusion, just for the staff. So I'm actually going to be having a conversation with them today about that. So going to be engaging with them later after this call. So that's kind of a roundup of like what's happened. So a few things looking forward to. So looking forward to seeing that over the next few weeks. Jared produced that video for us. Looking forward to seeing some engagement in Flintshire. Emma is going to be delivering some drop-ins there. Sort of similar to what myself and Connor have been doing in Shire Newton, in Cardiff over the last sort of like few quarters. Just generally making some resources, and Bassett's going to be continuing with the online network for digital inclusion and ethnic minority communities in Wales. So the next one is the 20th of March, so that's this week actually, themed around connectivity and good things, and Jungala will be in attendance there. So that's kind of like a highlight of it all. I've got that on the document as well, which I've uploaded. And other than that, if I've missed anything, Bassett, feel free to chip in now. But yeah, that's us.
Thanks, Nick. Who's delivering on behalf of health, please?
Me.
Right, you've got 10 minutes starting now.
Well, we only got 3. You were supposed to do 3, haven't we? So I'll be as succinct as I can. So with health, an Iron Bevan, there's a couple of things. Dementia Hub sessions across Gwent, supported by the Gwent Regional Partnership, have now commenced. The first session took place in Monmouthshire, and the Caerphilly session took place yesterday or this week, and they've had positive sessions. Also within an Iron Bevan, DCW working with the newly established symptom management service. Service is a mix of OTs and psychologists, psychologists, supporting patients suffering conditions such as fibromyalgia, brain fog, and sleep deprivation. DCW has met with the lead OT and attended team meetings to discuss ways DCW can support them and learn more about it. So that's quite a good bit of ongoing work there. Within Velindre, DCW internship program is in its last months. It's continuing to support the business change manager with the development of Digital Heroes work. The website to support is virtually complete, and it's hoped that it will be launched by the end of the month. Website due to be presented to the wider digital service team very shortly, and Tanisha, who's been fabulous work with Velindre, will be supporting that presentation. So that's a bit of something from Velindre. And within Swansea Bay, following a referral from colleagues within Swansea Bay, we've agreed to deliver digital health and wellbeing and digital tools to support people living with dementia training for about 40 members of staff attending the Avon GP cluster GMS collaborative meeting in June. So that's the votes for the health jury.
Thank you very much, Russell. And next we got social care.
That's me. So let me find it. So top 3 highlights from the social care group. So Simon and Russell attended the North Wales Digital Social Care Showcase event along with other members of the DCW team. Emma provided an excellent, inspiring digital presentation. Simon and Diane demonstrated the digital reminiscence bike, and several really good contacts were established. And already it's led to some work with Denbighshire Adult Social Care and Homelessness Service, where there's a reminiscence session that's been booked with them in April. We've also been working with Carmarthenshire County Library Service, so inspiring digital activities to support people living with dementia, and reminiscence and keeping occupied training has been delivered to their staff so that they can better understand digital resources, what's available, and how they can use them effectively for sessions within the libraries with all their library users. And the final one is that we recently loaned 5 Chromebooks and a tablet to Mental Health Matters. They're keen to trial Chromebooks with the people they support to see if they find them easier to use. So it's a really good opportunity for them to try them before they potentially buy them. But there's also the possibility of gifting them some Chromebooks through that aren't being used through Communities for Work. So that might end up being a short-term loan. But this morning I've come in, they've emailed us over a blog that they're going to send out by the end of the week, which details how they'll be using the Chromebooks, which looks really good. They want to run sessions around online shopping for people, general digital confidence and reducing loneliness, and using memory and cognitive tools as well. So I think that's a good piece of work, hopefully. So we'll keep you updated on that. And that's all from me.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And older people next.
Yeah, that's me. It's my turn to do the update. We've mainly been working on the tea and tech pilots over the last sort of month or so. So we've had a few already take place. So we've had a tea and tech training session, and the first drop-in session took place with Connectly Goodshed. They had 6 people attending the pilot training, with 4 volunteers and 2 paid members of staff. And the first drop-in seemed to be really well attended, at 11 people attend. So the feedback has been quite positive so far. So they'll have another 3 drop-in sessions after that as part of the pilot. A second session is tea and tech session, a full day training session is taking place in Caergornedd, Bangor, with, sorry, if my Welsh is rubbish here, but Fend, led by our trainer Emma. We had 5 volunteers attending the session. Feedback again was good overall, but slightly challenging to keep a balance between more capable volunteers and others that were less so. But definitely worthwhile practical experience for the more capable volunteers. And obviously then hopefully they'll go on and deliver the in-person sessions with Emma's support then. We did have a session booked with Cumpark Community Association, but unfortunately that be cancelled. So we've rearranged for another one in Merthyr with Compass in Merthyr. So that should be happening shortly as well. And a couple of the organisations have received some kits so they can use on the tea and tech pilots. So that's about it really for us. It's sort of all about the tea and tech at the minute.
Thank you, Steph. Short and sweet. And last but not least, social housing.
That one's me. Okay, so headlines. Open access training sessions from March to May have been created and shared with relevant social housing contacts. We have already seen a good number of sign-ups. Digital Champions training for Cardiff Community Housing Association has taken place and positive feedback has been received. A meeting has been arranged to discuss further training. All right, no laugh at my pronunciation now. Digidol Ara Sid have started their technolic sessions at Holyhead Library. We are continuing to support them with relevant resources. A case study for North Wales Housing Association has been filmed in Abergele and it's just completed its editing now. A meeting with Cartrevi Conway has taken place and they're going to be part of a case study and they want training for up to 12 digital champions. We're also hoping to give them some gifted devices. So looking forward, we've got Air Cymru case study to be filmed in the near future. Merthyr Valley Homes are asking their tenants if they'd like to be digital champions. Merthyr Tydfil Housing have contacted us and want 10 digital champions to be trained. We're going to supply them with Chromebooks and upskill their current digital champions as well. And they've specified an AI session. Bronagh Farm are currently reviewing their digital roadmap and are interested in a skills audit, training program and super user capabilities. Tanavron, Extra Care and Llandudno are looking for face-to-face training sessions to take place in April. Monmouthshire Housing is starting a digital training session for a series of digital training sessions for their tenants from April. And following on from inquiry with Clwyd Allen, we are organising a meeting to discuss supporting Flintshire. We are already supporting Clwyd Allen tenants in Denbighshire and Conway.
Excellent. You're all amazing. Very on the ball. Right. Any questions, anybody, for any of the team? Any other business? No?
Just
I got any other business?
Okay. Do you want to go ahead, Nick?
Yeah, just webinars. So we've got next month's April and May open access webinars are up on the website now. I'll be getting June to late August sort of ready over the next week or two. Just waiting to like finalize some things with potentially one or two externals as well. Whether or not they go ahead, it depends on they getting back to me as well. But yeah, we're also next for the remainder with webinars. We're not going to be doing Welsh language interpreter for English webinars, but what we're doing instead is offering a Welsh language webinar every 2 weeks. So Emma and Kaylee have put together a nice list of webinar options for people over the next few months now to program end. So alongside our English webinars, we'll be delivering Welsh language as well. So yeah, they'll all be on the website. They'll all be they'll state whether they're in English or Welsh, and yeah, they're all through Eventbrite. So yeah, just a little mini update for you.
Oh, thank you. Dewi, did you want to say something?
Yes, just on any other business, conscious this is going to be the last team meeting that our interns are going to be joining, as the internships are coming to an end the 28th of March. So I know Tanisha and Aliu are here. I know Anita's not here today, but
Don't
I
forget
think
Jared as well.
well, oh, sorry, yes, Jared's here.
Hello.
Here as well.
Hello.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. But yeah, just to say a massive thank you. I think, you know, the whole team would be really sorry to see you go. You've kind of integrated yourselves so well in such a short space of time, and done so much really good work in kind of different areas across the program. So I think just from everyone, just to say a massive thank you to you guys. I hope you've had a good experience of interning with Digital Communities Wales. I think, you know, from the outset, you could see that we were, you know, might look a bit miserable online sometimes, but we're quite a welcoming bunch generally. And I think the way you've kind of fitted in and kind of delivered and been engaged and participated in things has been kind of real kind of testament to yourselves, but yeah, really positive for the program. So I think, you know, in terms of our thinking, in terms of internships going forward, we really see the value in that, and to see kind of development development of confidence and stuff as well. And you guys obviously all kind of really capable anyway, but to see that growth is really positive as well. So just a massive thank you from us. I'm sure everybody will kind of be dropping you messages and things over the course of the next week. But with this being kind of the last full team meeting that you attend, I thought I'd just kind of, extend our, kind of our gratitude to you and the way that you've kind of taken on the roles and engaged with the teams. So thank you.
Thanks, Dewi. Right. Don't all get too excited now. Okay, we're going to spin the wheel. I'm going to share my screen.
Lorraine, there's absolutely no way you've managed to chair this meeting with 40 minutes to spare.
You want to bet? Can everybody see my
You
screen?
wait and see what happens if I get it this time. I'll beat the 47.
Do you know what, Rue? I'll come in just for that.
I think based on the fact that we've done it with 40 minutes to spare, Lorraine should be doing it every time.
I agree, Russell. I think we take a vote.
Come
And
on
yes,
now,
Lorraine, we can
babe.
see your screen.
Right, what have I got to do now? Because I did.
So just click on it and then it should spin and then land on a lucky victim.
A lucky victim. I love the wording.
And the winner is Nicholas. Hey, stop sharing.
I've got a lot to live up to there. record meeting time.
So, if there's nothing else from anybody, that's the meeting done and dusted. Laura did tell me it was going to be a short meeting, mind, as well. So, yes, thank you all for being super quick, super efficient. And does anybody want to say a nice message to Laura or while she's here? Push goes off.
I would literally won't put people on the spot to do that. Don't worry, as I saw the British panic go across everybody's faces then, and Laura started retreating into her dress.
Absolutely.
Laura, I just want to wish you luck, and it will be super duper, and I can't wait to see the little picture of your Pepper.
I know, I'm very excited. And I guess I'm not going to get upset because I promised myself I'd wait till Thursday and then I can spend all day Friday crying. Just massive thank you. Because I've been here for a little while. So I think you're all wonderful and thank you very much. And I will see you hopefully on the other side. Fingers crossed. And I'm going to stop talking now because, I'm going to break my own heart otherwise because I don't know if I'm going to see you all again.
I'm sure we will.
Yes, absolutely. But no, you're all amazing. Keep doing what you're doing for the last sort of 6 months and we shall meet again on the other side.
And Laura does have some touch point days, so we may well as a team see her in some form if Laura chooses, because you do get some touch point days. I'm not saying you have to bring baby along to a touch point day, but there may be some quite disgruntled people if you
if I refuse to bring the baby with me.
But yeah, honestly, Laura, I'm not going to do it now because I will also cry. We've got a little half an hour on Thursday where me and Dewi can sob for 30 minutes. But just a very big thank you. You know that there's a huge amount of love from the team, and I'm sure people will be in touch this week. Yes, right, everybody, we're gonna hop off before we actually do start crying. Thank you, Lorraine, for exceptional chairing. That was terrifyingly efficient. It's good to know that's a skill set of yours. And we'll be in touch with everyone. Minutes will come round. If you were kicked out, apologies. But yeah, you'll be able to go back and catch any little bits that you missed. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day.
Bye. Thanks all.
Bye.